month, the time set aside to really think about how we want to age, or perhaps how we are aging. What do you want your life to look like as you get older? Here to help us live our best life through the years is Dr. Provance, HMG Primary Care at Weber City. And it is great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Well, certainly age, not one of those things we all like to talk about, but we all want to age gracefully, I guess, right?
Yes, we do, but I'm sure many people would say there's no such thing as aging gracefully. It's not much of a graceful process. But I like to look at aging gracefully as more of our health now, and where do we want to have our health in the future. So how are we balanced in our life in terms of our mind, our body, and our spirit, and what areas do we need to look at now that'll get us set us up for success in the future? So, you know, as we age, sometimes our mind slows down. We don't recall things as fast as we usually do. So what are we doing to engage our mind? So a lot of people, when they retire, they kind of slow down. I'm saying, you know, when you retire, why don't you find a new hobby? Maybe take up another job even. What are you doing to engage those things in your mind to keep you thinking longer? And then also, our bodies slow down. If we sit longer, then we get kind of out of shape and not as agile as we used to be. So what are we doing to keep mobile? And what are we putting in our body to improve our health and also prevent diseases? And finally, our spirit. I think if it's a pandemic right now, we've seen a lot of people with depression. And I look at the spirit as, what are you doing to find fulfillment? What's making you happy? Where are you connecting to other people in a community and enjoying life with other people? And I think that's really important that we look at all three areas as we age and try to stay in balance in each area.
And it all seems to kind of work together. You talk about the mind with the spirit and making those connections and staying active both physically and emotionally, I would imagine can make a huge difference.
Oh, definitely. And I think that when a patient comes in and we talk about these things, and everybody's a different part of their life, and maybe they're physically they feel great, but their mood isn't so well. So I really like to look at them individually and partner with the patient and say, hey, where are you at right now? Where do you want to be in the future? What is it we can do to get you there? And focus on whatever it is that's going on at the time, but also keep an eye towards the future.
And when we're talking about the future, what age are you usually talking about when we think about healthy aging? Where's that number, the magic number?
There is no magic number.
Oh, I knew it.
Sorry. The earlier you start, the better off you're going to be. So the decisions we make now are going to impact us in 10, 15, 20 years. But the other thing is, there's never not a time to start. It's never too late to start a process of healthy aging. And so partnering with your doctor and deciding what it is that you really need to focus on and now and in the future is really important.
And when you talk about the physical, Dr. Provance, when you're looking at your body overall, are there certain areas that are going to sort of be more mindful, more that age quicker than others?
Well, I think when I got out of bed this morning, my back was sore, and I think most people will say, hey, my back goes out first. Well, musculoskeletally, a lot of people will age a little bit faster in those areas, but everybody's different. You know, we all age a little differently because we're all unique, and so whatever's going on in your body, determining at that point what you can do to improve that's helpful. But you know, mobility and agility is really something that suffers pretty early on, and staying active and not sedentary is probably the most important thing I can say about our physical bodies.
Yeah, and staying active is always good for the mind and the spirit as well.
Yes.
So all, again, working there together.
Yes.
And then how much of it is genetic and hereditary when it comes to aging?
So every time a new patient comes in, we always talk about genetics. What's your family history? What kind of things we have to watch out for in your health? But interestingly enough, genetics is just a small portion of it. What we do with our bodies in terms of what we ingest, what we take in, what we're doing physically, actually has a role in how our genes are actually expressed. It's called epigenetics. So we actually look at how our genes are expressed through good or bad nutrition and healthy and active living. So it's kind of a combination of the two, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned nutrition, and I know that can play a big part as we age, keeping up with those vitamins and minerals that we're getting from our foods.
Definitely. I think nutrition is the biggest weapon we have in our arsenal to prevent disease and also treat disease. Wow. And I think that looking at, you know, overnutrition or undernutrition are both poor things that we have to prevent. So as we get older, if we're undernourished and don't have enough protein, we get weaker, our muscles deteriorate, and we get more likely to fall. Whereas we're overnourished, we have too much excess weight, causes more problems on our joints, and causes increased risk of heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure.
And I would imagine as you're working with these patients over the years, you develop quite a relationship and really helping them to sort of make their plan, stick to their plan, and achieve those goals.
Definitely. I think that partnering with the patient is the most important thing. Finding out what you want, not just what I think you should want, right? And so when you come into the office, my goal is to find out where can I meet you at? Where can I give you the tools you need to get to where you want to go? So we make a health plan together and not just looking at what I think is necessary. So I'm going to be focused on preventative measures as well that you may not think about, so I can keep those in the forefront, but also what is it you want to get out of this situation for now and in the future.
And I think that's nice too. As you get older, it seems like there's all these doctor visits to go to, all this different medication, and really centralizing that into one office, one place. I understand that's kind of where you start too with medications, and sometimes you can actually eliminate some of them.
Definitely. That's my first question when somebody comes in, is actually bring in your medications with you. I want to see everything you're on. And I tell patients, don't assume that your doctor and your specialist know what you're actually taking. Make sure you keep an active copy so we can eliminate medication errors, because that's a large portion of disease processes that we can prevent. We don't want to harm people, and we want to make sure that we can keep them healthy by eliminating duplicates or medicines we may not even need, or maybe too many supplements. They all interact together, and so we want to be careful, definitely what we're prescribing.
Kind of a game plan for a healthy, independent future as long as we can.
Definitely.
All right. Well, some great information. Enjoyed the conversation. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
If you would like more information on healthy aging, be sure to check out the blog, and you can find that at holstonmedicalgroup.com. Lots of good information there, and you can always visit their Facebook page as well. For more, call that number right there on your screen. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by HMG.